We are fighting for life. We are fighting against tanks, planes, mortars that the Russian troops are using against us to destroy us. But Russia is also destroying itself, because every shot against Ukraine, this is a step that Russia takes to destroy itself, to self-isolate, to poverty, to degradation. Russia, everybody leaves Russia now. All who can think, programmers, businessmen, artists. The Russian state has never experienced for decades such a blow to the human capital, which the blow that it has inflicted on itself. But it doesn't worry us. It's not our problem. Our issue is to preserve ourselves, our people, our scientists, our communities, our businessmen and artists, our people, our powerful nation, all our Ukrainians who are defending the country and bringing peace closer, which is necessary for all the people. Last night, there were air raids all over the country. An airport in Dnieper was destroyed. Russian aviation bombs fell on Kharkiv, plus artillery, plus mortars. There are fights, battles in the region too. In Rivne, they are clearing rubble after a missile strike there. Now we know about 19 deaths there. The ancient Chernihiv city is under such a powerful attack that it has removed any claims to the cultural ties to the ancient Rus. They have no soul, no memory. Russian troops are attacking Kiev, the Kievans. They destroyed 4 residential buildings, high-rises. Now we're talking about 5 deaths in Kiev. I will say this in Russian to you. This is in our capital, in the city which you refer to always as the mother of Russian cities, which has made our peoples historical. And you bombed it today. Just people, just residential areas. You bombed and then bombed more. We don't need children like that. Thank you. The occupiers continue to believe the capture of our capital as their main political aim. They believe that control over Kiev will give them control over Ukraine. This is absurd, total absurd from every point of view. To reinforce the defense of Kiev and Kiev Oblast, I appointed Alexander Pavlyuk as the head of the regional administration. He used to be the head of the Joint Forces Operation, and Alexei Kuleba will assist the military administration. So the Kiev area and the situation in the region will be the focus of our attention. And the new commander of the Joint Forces Operation will be commanded by General Moskalyov. Every morning, every evening, I thank our military, all our heroes who are courageously defending our country, all those who are stopping the enemy which is superior, numerically superior, 1 to 10. And I want to say now about all the civilians who died in this war. Eternal memory to all those who died for Ukraine, and eternal curse on the enemy who took thousands of lives. Today, humanitarian corridors opened partially in several places, and in Poltava and Konotop. The occupiers undermined the work of humanitarian corridors in Kiev Oblast, and they are blocking humanitarian convoy for Mariupol for several days now. But slowly, step by step, people are leaving the besieged town on their private vehicles. I want to thank the police, the doctors, and all those people who are saving people. I also thank our military men and women. I spoke to a summit at a summit today organized by the Britain, Ukraine's friend Boris Johnson. I spoke to the United Expedition Force of the United Kingdom. I spoke to the leaders of the northern European countries and Baltic states. I said what I wanted to say, that all our citizens wanted to say about NATO, their help and their generosity, and that not all of them took a morally correct position on Russia's attack. All those 800 missiles that struck our country is the answer to NATO. If the doors to the alliance had been open, we wouldn't have to try to convince the alliance for 20 days to close our skies, to close it to the death brought to the Russian Air Force. However, they don't hear us or don't want to hear us. Some countries in the alliance have scared themselves by telling themselves that they cannot respond, they cannot face Russian planes and missiles in Ukrainian skies. Otherwise, it would lead to escalation or the Third World War. But what would they do if Russia goes to Europe or other country? They keep saying the fifth article. It's never been as weak as it is now. This is just our opinion. When some members of the alliance was too scared to be an alliance, capable of defending all that it was created for freedom and democracy, humanity and justice, we need to find guarantees for our skies. We need planes. We still want them. We will continue trying to procure them. We need additional security guarantees for the country, for all the Ukrainians, but specific things, specific guarantees, legally bound guarantees, so there would never be any doubt about them, and so that there wouldn't be any excuses that we hear now when we turn to those who signed the Budapest Agreement and who had the possibilities to stop the Russian invasion before it started. They could have done it preventively, to help Ukraine preventively, but Ukraine will, the sanctions that don't allow to fight Ukrainian men and women. There are more than 4 million of us in our country, and also millions all over the world. This is a huge power, plus our friends and many countries and our partners. We all have a joint task, a national mission. We have to put such a pressure on Russia so that the price for this war against Ukraine will be as painful as possible, that everybody in the world take a moral position, and not just governments, but also companies, business, large corporations.